Texas governor on Tuesday announced he will be lifting the state's mask mandate and allowing businesses to open 100% next Wednesday.
A very different message from what we just heard from the director of the CDC. So today, Governor Brian Kemp was asked about the changes in Texas. So we wanted to compare the two states, Georgia and Texas, in terms of where the pandemic stands and the response from here. Here's Joe Henke.
Texas and Georgia, here's how the two states compare. Let's start with Texas. Back in July, their mask mandate went into effect, and in June, many businesses there either needed to close down or limit their capacity. Those restrictions on businesses have slowly loosened over time. Meanwhile, here in Georgia, there's never been a mask mandate, and businesses, for the most part, they've been open since May.
Vigilance to follow the safe standards is still needed to contain COVID. It's just that now state mandates are no longer needed.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott says he is lifting mandates in his state. So how does the pandemic look in Texas as restrictions are lifted, in Georgia, where few restrictions have been in place over the past 10 months? While their guidelines have been very different, the two states have been on the same roller coaster ride during the pandemic. Texas here with more deaths and hospitalizations, but Texas's population almost nearly 3 times Georgia's. When we factor for that population difference, the trajectory of new COVID-19 cases is almost identical. Today, the White House COVID response team discussed cases declining as vaccinations are administered around the country, but advocated against the decision of Texas's governor.
Health officials, as you know, in every state who feel now is the wrong time to lift the mask mandate.
When it comes to unemployment, Georgia and Texas began the pandemic with similar unemployment rates. Both hit peaks in April, but Georgia, with its open businesses, has recovered quicker than Texas. Governor Kemp on CNBC this morning saying his approach to restrictions kept Georgia's economy running and as strong as possible during a pandemic.
We didn't have any new cuts. We don't have furloughs. We're not laying anybody off. We put over $500 million back into public education. We're funding public health.
Mandated or not, though, whether you are in Texas, Georgia, or elsewhere, experts say masks, social distancing, and other health precautions are still needed.
We have not finished the race here. And so, especially with Texas, they're very high as far as the state rankings go for everything, for case rate, for death rate, for test positivity, and for hospital admission rate. So it's especially worrisome to see Texas doing this.